for your own life, whether it's in your love relationship, your friendships, your jobs, your school education, as well as your business relationships. It's still going to come down to these things. And we tell the girls, it's kind of like our mantra: if you don't know who you are, then others will seek to define you. And they'll tell you, oh, you're this way and you're that way. It's like, you don't know me, but you got to be really clear about who you are. And a lot of us don't know who we are. And it's not just about age. As we get older and we've experienced some things in life, there's a greater possibility that we know ourselves better. But if you've never taken the time to like delve into who you truly are, you still might be scratching the surface. So I'm going to share these things with you as your takeaway. Feel free to jot down what I'm saying. And if you have some comments when I'm done, we can take some comments as well. Number one, get to know yourself, like your basic personality. Take an assessment. I like assessments because assessments usually are not pull out the air. They are based on something, based on some scientific. The key is once you take the assessment and get the results, only you can sanction what's there. So like the Myers-Briggs, the MBTI, the DISC assessment. I even took a faith-based assessments, like how can you work in the ministry, or where your strengths are. I took Strength Finders, which, you know, identifies your strengths as well as your challenge and your gifts and skills. That was helpful for me because it really did give sanction to things I knew on a deep level. Now there's proof of that. Okay, but you don't have to agree to it all once you get the results back. And I know that Dress for Success did a lot of assessments. I don't know if you all took any or not. If you did, comment on that. What were the assessments like? Were they helpful for you, the results?
Can you write down in the chat where to take some of these assessments and what they are?
Okay, and Megan, I don't know if everyone gets an opportunity to do this, but I'm going to put some things down. If there's someone who could help with Christine, and maybe if she's interested in taking some of the assessment, there's some links and some websites you can go to. I'm going to put one down. MBTI is Myers-Briggs. Oh, I'm sending it to everyone. Hold on a second. GTHS Friday. Okay. And there's just a few. If you Google some of these, and again, we can share more. Christine, do you have a coach or a mentor with Dress for Success?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so that's something maybe to talk to your coach or mentor about. They may be able to help you with that.
No.
Yes, Megan put down the site, Assessments for Success, Assess for Success, in the chat box. Can you see that? Okay. Great.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that would be very helpful. So again, only you can sanction what was there, and only you can submit to say, oh, this really is me, or this is not me. Okay. All right. So the second one, so take an assessment, get to know you, your likes, your dislikes, how you show up in the world, what your values are. I mean, Catherine, you used the word values. Again, when we do values exercises with these young girls, they'll say, well, I don't know what a value is. Nobody has ever asked me about a value. Nobody ever asked me that either. That's why I'm asking them. And so we'll do some exercises around values, and then they really find out what is important to them. Because, and I'm going to use this kind of loosely, some of the girls are sleeping around with different girls and different boys. So they're just like all over the place. But when we talk about being aware of your body and not just freely just giving yourself to someone, what is that? You know, how can they value themselves enough to say, well, no, I'm not going to allow my body to be used in that way. But they are still seeking something. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing these things if they have the value of themselves. So we talk about values a lot and do some exercises on that. So knowing your assessment, knowing who you are, makes a big difference. Know I have the virtues, the attributes, and those characteristics of a woman, as a female, as a professional, as whatever it is that you are. If you know those virtues that goes along with that, and what are those virtues that you have, okay, and what are those virtues you can cultivate. Only you will know that by taking a deep dive and looking at that. The other thing is, this is regard to work. Let your work ethic, I say, and your life reflect your values. If you say, I am this, if you go into the workplace and change that around and flip it, you're going to be living like this video said. You're not going to be your authentic self. And there's a price to pay internally for not being that. So once you know that, what does that look like in your work life? What does that look like in your relationship? There should be some constant things that are there. Whatever that constant is more your authentic self. If not, it's gonna wrestle. You're gonna wrestle with that internally. I got to be over here, this way over here, and I got to be this way over there, and eventually that conflict is gonna show up. Okay. If you find your values challenged, speak into that situation. Whether it's with your mate or spouse or your friends, and some people really can't handle it. And you might have to make that decision that this is not working for me anymore, because I have to let you know that that was an ouch. That really did hurt my feelings. Or I listen to you all the time, but when it's my time to share, you're not listening. Maybe that relationship can survive, but maybe it won't. Maybe you have to leave that relationship. But if you are able to express that, then that you have a possibility of chance of improving that. You can't do it by yourself. The other person has to be in relationship to that. Even your job. And some people have had to leave jobs, or they have suffered in jobs because they were not being truly who they were. Okay. And then, so the other one is know the power of your words. Learn to speak your truth with confidence, with clarity and conviction. If you are uncomfortable, let other people know. And so in our world, sometimes we hurt, we laugh at when people are hurt. We remain silent when we see unfair treatment, when we see someone dishonored or discriminated against. Sometimes internally, we know this is not right, but we remain silent. How can you speak that truth and still keep your job? Some people say, well, I got to work, so I'm not going to take that risk. And you may not. That's a personal choice. However, it's still in you. You still saw it. You still witnessed it. It's still internally. What can you do about that? Okay. So your words carry power. And when you can get to a place of speaking up and speaking out about that thing, it's important to say that. Know the power of your presence, like your physical presence, your body talk. You don't have to make a grand entrance, nor do you have to make this grand statement, but just your physicality, your expression on your face, your body language. What is it saying? And is that enough to speak your message? Sometimes it is. Okay. I was thinking about the Will and Jada thing. I don't know if you guys saw that with the awards. What was it? Academy Awards? Whatever the awards were. So I was like, what if everybody in that room had just looked at Will? Like, did you really do that? That energy, that collective energy would have sent a message. Some people laughed. There was uncomfortableness in the room. It was all this stuff going on. But as a group of people, that collective conscious to say, you know what you're doing is not right. This was like kind of even before the actual slap that happened. There could have been this collective pause, like that wasn't right. And sometimes we run that risk of getting fired, getting terminated or getting dismissed from the group because you didn't go along with the group think. It's a risk, and only you can say whether you're willing to take that risk or not, okay? Know the worth and value of your knowledge, your skills, and your experiences. Again, with clarity and confidence, be able to present that. Because sometimes as a woman, and I know sometimes as an African-American woman, again, even a woman of a certain age, it's like, I'm not supposed to know this. I'm not supposed to have this knowledge. And we kind of shrink back. So finding that voice to be able to say, do you want this or do you not? Because I'm willing, but if you don't want this, then I'm not going to try to force this on you. And I'm not going to change this to kind of fit into your mold. Now, if we can work together, we can figure this thing out, okay? And then give yourself, and this is the last one, give yourself space and grace to not be perfect, to make mistakes, to be uncertain, to be unsure, to be afraid. Those are just natural human emotions. So under that, I have let go and just relax. It's not the end of the world. This too shall pass. And I know those are cliches, but they are cliches that I think most of us in this room has kind of lived through. That really wasn't the end of the world. We thought it was, and we made this mountain, this molehill into a big mountain. It's like, I really cared about that. I really put all my energy into that, and it really wasn't worth it. But when we're more confident and know who we are and know where we fit into this, we're less likely to do that. This is a piece, and I think I heard it resonated throughout today. Take care of yourself. Give yourself space and grace to not be perfect. To step back and say, I can't be with people this week. I will go to work and I will do my work. If I have to interact, to get my work done, of course you got to do that. But outside of that, it's like, no, I just need to be silent this week. And it's okay to do that. Maybe it's a week, maybe it's a month, maybe it's longer. But you know yourself well enough what you need to take care of yourself. And if you need to get some help, professional help, get the help that you need from a trusted counselor, a therapist, a pastor, someone that respects you, who knows you, and is going to allow you that space and grace to be who you are. Don't beat yourself up, but be mindful of those, I call them those unguarded moments. I was reading something and I was like, whoa, that just really stuck out for me. Those unguarded moments when something kind of infiltrates your mind or your being or your psyche. We are humans and we don't always do the right thing. We compromise, we go the way of the world, so to speak. But because we have a connection with, I call it my higher power. Some people, whatever your faith or your belief system, but there's an inner knowing when we're not being our true self. Okay, so we're going to make those mistakes, but we can always turn it around and come back again and say, whew, okay, I'm gonna double down and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna try it again. So we're a constant work in progress. Okay, at this age and stage of the game, I thought I would have arrived, right? And whatever arrived is for you. And I realized that this human path is a journey. So we're never going to be perfect. We have these bright moments and we almost have some deep valleys, but it's that ongoing human experience that helps us to stay in touch with who we truly are. And then practice self-forgiveness. When we do transgress, when we do make those mistakes, when we do beat ourselves up, when we go into situations and we know we weren't being our authentic self, there's probably was a reason for that, and it may have been self-protection. Okay, but guess what? We can forgive ourselves. We can start fresh. We can start anew. We can recommit, and we can give ourselves and others a do-over. Okay, so you guys have heard, I'm a country music fan. I think you guys may have heard, some of you may have heard, is it Kenny Rogers? You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. That's one of my favorite. So I thought about that too. Sometimes you have to remove yourself physically, mentally, or emotionally from that space to protect yourself and to resist that temptation to maintain your own authenticity. It's like, I can't be with this right now. And you have to take a step back. Okay. Authenticity is not necessarily being transparent. Everyone doesn't have to know everything or see every aspect of you all the time. If you know who you are, then you'll know what parts are appropriate for that situation. Oh, Lisa's coming on. I'm going to admit her. Okay. And then that you can present you that unapologetically who you are, but you have to know yourself in order to do that. I'm going to leave you all with this. Well, I'm going to ask for some comments. Did anything ring a bell with what I talked about? And I'm going to leave you with this poem that I wrote on discovering me. I found it this morning. I was like, oh, I'll share that with the ladies. And I wrote this in 2019. So I was fully adult when I wrote this, but it was about discovering me. But I want to hear your comments about what we've talked about so far. Any comments?
I just thank you so much for all of your wisdom and inspiration. I'm so glad that I got to participate in this. You're
Thank you.
you're
Thank
very
you.
inspirational. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. And I tried to be an inspiration. So was that you, Christine, talking about being nice?
Yes.
Okay, so people used to say, oh, Juliet's so nice. I'm going like, I knew it wasn't niceness, just being nice. And nice to me is not a bad thing. But I was like, well, is it being nice? Is being over nice? Is being nice a bad thing? I had to go all deep about being nice. I said, no, I respect human beings and I give people space to be who they are. That's always been a part of me, but people thought it was just being nice. Oh, she's just being nice. No, I went deep on that too, because it almost seemed like it was a bad word. I respect people for where they are, and I've learned to give them space and grace to be who they are and not take that on myself, because I did take some of that on earlier in my life. But as I matured, I was going like, wow, people would just, as my pastor used to say, people will be going on into something else and you're still there in that space. So I learned like not to. Michelle, you're laughing about that. Did you have a comment, Michelle?
For some reason, my phone doesn't always let me get to the chat.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I understand.
But no, I just so relate to that. Yep, it's over and done with, and you're still there, but everybody else is gone. So yep, they're on to bigger and better things, and there you are. Yep.
There you go. So I've learned to be better in that space. Okay. Anyone else want to comment? Then I'll leave you with this this poem. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is called Discovering Me. Who to be, what to be like, who am I to be? I was told that I could be anything and all that I desired to be, but all I ever wanted to be was me. Who is me and who am I? I was never asked, never told. So I bumped into walls and fell into cracks and sometimes into deep holes, trying to figure it all out. Who to be, who is me? It's been said, to thine own self be true. As I discover me, my strengths, my challenges, that which brings me joy, causes me laughter, that which saddens me, provokes me, motivates and inspires me. Each day I embrace the many facets of me as I discover me. Thank you, ladies, for being here. Before we leave, if you have any closing comments, we'll be done in a couple of minutes here. I just want to know if you have any closing comments or what was your takeaway for today?
I feel like I want to join your girls group.
Well, we actually thought about doing it for adult women. We said, well, we need some of this too. So I have to let Megan know if we decide to do self-discovery with Dress for Success. Maybe we'll think about it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Hi, this is Julie. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay, Juliet, I just want to say thank you so much. I also wanted to make sure, are you doing like individual etiquette sessions? Because for me, I grew up without a lot of guidance. My mom was a single parent. So I feel like there's things that I could improve in with the way that I communicate and manners and things like that.
Mhm. I do small group and individual sessions based on what the person needs. So it would start with a conversation as where you see your need is. And if you are more comfortable individual than in a group, yes, we can work that out, and Megan can put you in touch with me.
And is it cheaper to do it in a group or individually?
It's cheaper to do it in a group because we maximize the time. But I won't turn you away. There's some things I'll be able to help you with. Now, one thing I've learned about me, of course, I want to make a living. Of course, I want to make money, but sometimes people are sent to me that I just know I'm supposed to help. It's just something to work with. So you
You're
may be
awesome,
just-
Juliet. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Anyone else? And so yes, the answer is yes, and I'll look for you to get in touch with me. Okay.